The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Dead Zone WDZRDB Worldwide. Welcome to the Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show.
April 5th, Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's show. I know I did. This time around, we have Amy Bue. I hope I'm saying that right. Bue, Amy, B-U-E, Bue. If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll be told about it later on in the show. We met her at Horror Hound in Indianapolis this last year. Very sweet lady, very cool. She's a brand new author. She was part of the BFRO, you know who that is, and she is now part of the Olympic Project, and she's going to talk with us a little bit about that too. So stick around, hunker down, get a cup of coffee, whatever you want to do, whatever. We're all in the same boat, so give it a listen. Let us know what you think. But first, of course, here's Michelle.
Hey, this is Michelle. Join me Sundays at 8 o'clock Eastern for paranormal news and events.
Paranormal news.
Surprise! It's me. Michelle's actually quarantining herself. Good job. The segment that was going to air on this program was actually corrupt when it was sent, and we apologize for that, but it's okay. Once we get all through this, and even maybe next week we'll have a different segment for you to listen to. But the thing is, as far as the paranormal events go, I mean, everything has pretty much been canceled. I mean, there's canceled or put on hold. Let's put it that way. And I really hate that because we're missing out on a lot of things. I mean, there's places that we were scheduled to be at that we can't, as the rest of you are, right? Anyway, again, surprise. I'm sorry. Check in next week. Check in next week. I'm sure Michelle will have something for us to check out. She always does. She's great.
Hello, this is Christopher St. Booth, and you're listening to The Dead Zone.
Okay, and now back to business.
Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show with our friend that we met a long time ago. I mean, not a long time ago. It was Indianapolis Horror Hound. Mm-hmm. A great lady, a very wonderful woman. I liked her right off the bat, and her name is
Amy Bue.
Amy Bue, and I said it right.
Yep.
I said it right.
Yep.
Yes, I did. All right. Well, welcome to the show. I know we did this last night. We tried to record this last night, and guess what? My dumb bleep person, our recording software went down, so we're doing it again. And thank you for being on the show with us to do that again.
Oh, absolutely. We had fun last night, so we'll just talk again.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's start right where we started last night. You are Amy Bue, and you are a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are. And you are a researcher, and you are a former member of BFRO, right? And we all know who that is, right? Yeah. Why did you leave?
Well, there were some different reasons. I was doing a lot of reports that I was getting on my own, so I felt like I didn't have enough time to dedicate to their reports, so I felt like maybe somebody else could do a better job. And we just had a few differences of opinion as well.
Right, the BFRO, right?
Yes.
You're talking about, right? We're talking about, you're not talking about Bobo and the rest of the guys, right? Moneymaker, right?
Oh, no, I love, Bobo's a great guy. No, and,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of wonderful people in the BFRO. I still have friends in there.
Yes.
And, they're good researchers. Just in my local group had a few differences of opinion, which
Yes.
nothing bad, that can happen.
Well, of
but
course it
mostly
does, yeah.
Just I couldn't really dedicate enough time to it.
Right. Well, I kind of think that as far as art, if you're going to look at it from our point of view, like a point of view, you have to have different points of view.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. We all look at things differently, and that's definitely doesn't have to be a bad thing.
BFRO, though, man, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. I learned a lot. I had some great reports that I was taken out of there. I had started doing a lot more in Pennsylvania. I live right on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Right.
So lately, over the past year, I was doing more in Pennsylvania than I was in Ohio.
Yeah.
But then as I've been getting out doing sportsman shows and fishing shows and outdoor shows, I was getting a lot of my own reports.
Really? Fishing shows?
Yeah. So
I love that. Tell me more about that. We didn't talk about that last night, did we?
No. Well, it's been great. I did my first one last year. Dave Groves is a great researcher and a good friend from Pennsylvania, and he asked me if I wanted to do the Monroeville sports outdoor show, outdoor show, near Pittsburgh, and I jumped at that chance. And since then, I've been asked at some different ones in Ohio and PA, and basically, this year, I was there with my research partner, Tina Sams.
Yeah.
We went to...
we talked about her last night, too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we had, between that one and one we did in Ohio, we had 87 new reports from fishermen and hunters that they had never reported to anybody, and a lot of them were older, when they were younger, and some were newer. But we documented all of them, and really, that was a big reason I went kind of on my own, although now I'm on a different team.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's all right.
Own.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Fishermen, a competition, right? You're talking about? Of fishermen? You're a competition of fishermen.
Well, my fiance, his brother's a professional fisherman, so there were some professional fishermen there.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of just, recreational, and people had all of these stories that they had not known.
They wanted to tell you
who else to talk to.
Right.
So the first one I did, I didn't know how we'd be received, and I was crawling around on the floor taping down some carpet that they wanted me to use.
Yeah.
And I looked up.
Yeah.
And it was the night before the first day of the outdoor show, and there were 5 people standing there, just other vendors that wanted to tell me their stories. So it's been a great way to get people, comfortable with you and telling you what they've seen.
Well, that's something that we didn't talk about last night, and we're going to talk about this right now, your very first encounter. How did that go?
Sure, well, that's what got me interested in this, and I still say it's a possible encounter because it was from about a football field away, but it's what got me started in this whole thing. And I was in a car, I was a passenger going over a bridge over Meander Reservoir in Mahoning County, Ohio.
Right.
And I saw something on the shoreline that my first instinct as we were getting closer to it was that it looked like Bigfoot. Because,
right.
I had grown up, I had seen In Search Of. We were talking last night about how we both think we read the same book.
Yes, we did. I guarantee you we did. I guarantee you we did. Yes, sir. I guarantee it, yeah.
So I was familiar with what they were supposed to look like, but, it was not on my radar at all.
Right.
But I saw this very large, all one color something standing there holding onto a tree, and it moved. I knew it was alive. It didn't have a muzzle like a bear.
Right, but
and
that was 100 yards away, though.
Yeah, it was 100 yards away.
Yeah.
But what was interesting about it was there's no people are allowed in there because it's under the protection or whatever of the Homeland Security.
Yeah.
It's the city's water supply, so that's why
you
it's
can't.
so unusual.
Yeah, you can't.
But, I'm thinking it could have been a ranger or something, but it was just so big.
It was so
but
big.
It got me interested, and I started looking into Bigfoot sightings, and there have been several other sightings in that same area.
Right. Now, like
who knows?
Yeah, like we talked about last night. I mean, we used to be part of the tri-state, whatever. They would send us leads. Everyone was always like 10 years old. I mean, like Rockville, Indiana, something down here, and the Hoosier State Forest and that kind of thing. It's like,
right.
That's great, and I'd love to go check that out. But it's been so long. What's the point?
No, I know what you mean. I like the historical stories because it gives a good background to an area, but it's definitely more exciting when you have something that just happened.
That just happened. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna blow $100 in gas to go somewhere to check out a 10-year-old maybe possible sighting.
There's so much else going on. It's hard to do that for sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, man. We went through so much like last night. I'm afraid. Well, Amy Bew, author, team member, and now a team member of Olympic Project. Right? That's cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
The Olympic Project is awesome. And
yes.
If you don't know about it, I always tell people they should go onto their website. They're doing a lot of exciting work out in Washington State right now.
Right, and that is, like I said last night, the Olympic Project is I'm going to read it verbatim again, an association of dedicated researchers, investigators, biologists, and trekkers committed to doing. I'm just going to quit right now. Anyway, committed to documenting the existence of Sasquatch through science and education, and that's what we all do. I mean, even ghost hunters, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Did we talk at all about the Olympic Project last night? I can't remember.
We touched on it a little bit, but we were talking a little bit more about your past and what we should be doing right now, and that's fine. But yes, I mean that's going to come up a little bit later. I mean, I know you're limited on time, and your new book, right? The Project Zoo book, and I love that, man. That reveal there, because like, what does Zoo book mean? And it didn't hit me when you explained it, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Well, basically, we were talking about Project Zoo book. It's definitely my baby. What I spend most of my time with as far as research, besides getting out in the field. But I met a young lady online through Facebook.
Right.
And long story short, she was telling me that she and her coworkers were interested in going on an expedition, but then they couldn't afford to go.
Right.
So I had told her that, you don't have to pay money to go on an expedition. Not that, if you go on a good expedition and you have to pay for your campsite or food or whatever, I don't have any problem with that as long as people are, being
right.
honest about things and stuff.
Right.
But I just told her, you don't have to do that, and I would be happy to take them out. And ended up that she and her coworkers, they didn't work at another school or work at Walmart or wherever. They are all zookeepers at one of our nation's zoos.
Yes.
And we keep it kind of on the down low because we always say that even though a lot of different scientists are interested in this topic of Bigfoot, it doesn't mean their zoo boards are.
Mm-hmm.
So we call ourselves Flash Forward. After I met her and learned that they were all interested in Sasquatch, and these are people that work with great apes, gorillas and
right.
and chimps and everything. And,
yeah.
And so that was exciting. And but we decided to have put a little group together, and we didn't know it was going to turn out as big as it has become. Even though we're under the radar, we do a lot of work, and we have a lot of people that we collaborate with. But we were kind of joking around that, the top secret alien studies were Project Blue Book, so we were going to be Project Zoo Book.
Yeah. I love that show, by the way, as a kid, though. When the very, not the new one, the original Blue Book.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, I love that.
Dexter and I were watching the new one for a while, and then we got a little bit bored from it, but maybe we'll try it again.
All right. But now you just said, like we talked about last night, anybody can go do this kind of thing, and yeah, you're welcome too, but you really need to know what's going on in the woods, right?
Yes.
You need to know how to take care of yourself and look out for this, that, and the other thing.
Absolutely, and I learned that. You know, when I first started, I was kind of like, I didn't know anything. I didn't even know how to start a fire. You know, I was like nothing. So I have been taking bushcraft classes through an organization up near Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I became an Ohio certified volunteer naturalist.
Volunteer naturalist, yeah. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that right now, yeah. And the Midwest Native Skills.
Through Ohio State University. So, you know, I feel a lot more prepared. Some of my team members out in the Olympic Project in Washington, which I'm out west as often as I can be, they're also search and rescue guys. So they are people, if you're stuck in the woods, they're good people to be stuck with. You know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be stuck if you're with people that know what they're doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Ohio Certified Volunteer Naturalist. I've never heard of that.
It's a really cool program. If you're from Ohio, I really encourage you to look into it. It's through the Ohio State University, and you take these classes. I think it took about 9 months. You know, usually a big chunk of time each week, like maybe 3 or 4 hours, 1 day a week.
All right.
It was spread out, and you learn about geology and mammals and watershed management and plants and all these different things. And it's a pretty intensive course, but I wanted to keep learning more about all these things, and so that's why I've been taking the bushcraft classes, because I want to learn more detailed information about all of those topics.
Okay, yeah. And does that include like smudging or anything like that at all, or what?
You know, there's all kinds of things. I have just, you know, I'm in the beginning stages of these classes.
Yeah. And
the final exam that you eventually get to is they take you out and kind of drop you off in the forest for a week. And all you have,
yeah, that's great.
All you have is what you're wearing, a blanket and a knife, and you have to show you can make shelter and fire.
All right, that's cool. Isn't there a TV show like that right now?
There is, but I'm not sure that I want to do that.
Right. What I was trying to get to, maybe I threw you off. Smudging, the old native. You said you're taking a Native American skills class.
Right.
Now smudging is a big part of what we do, right?
Right. With the smoke.
Yes.
Smoke and everything.
The smudging and all that kind of.
I don't know that I'm going to learn that, but that would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, well, everyone does it. I mean, you know, get it.
Yeah.
You get a shell and you get a rabbit, whatever. Anyway.
Right,
Okay.
Right. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's very cool. And now you are a writer. You haven't written a book yet, but you do have one coming out, and that is the Zoo book. But you have written articles. You've had written.
Zoo book is a little different. I mean, it sounds like it's a book, but it's just the name of my group with the.
Well, see, I missed that last night. Then I guess.
Yeah, but the book itself is about Tom Page.
Yes.
He's
Okay.
a gentleman who was a financial backer of Roger Patterson
and
Peter Byrne and a lot of the, you know, what do you want to say, the forefathers of Bigfooting.
Right.
He also went out with them and did a lot of research with them. So I found him. We met time after time after time for lunch, and he told me all of his stories, and so I'm putting that together in a book. You know, I used to be a technical writer before I was a teacher, and so I've written, you know, manuals, installation manuals for bank machinery and stuff like that.
No, that's fun, right? That's great.
Yeah, and I've written like Bigfoot articles for the Bigfoot Times and for some newsletters in Australia and Norway, cool. But this will be my first actual book.
Well, that's awesome. Now, you know, when what's going on here? What was that? I don't know what that was. That was something. Yeah. Anyway, when we first met you, I mean, we were right across from you, basically.
Yeah.
We had Bob Gilman. Did you talk to that guy?
Oh yeah, he's a friend of mine. I'm very privileged to say, and I love Bob.
He's
a great man.
He's a big sweetheart, and you know what? He's a big flirt. I'm sorry.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. And Giorgio was right across from us too.
Yep.
And it was really cool, man. I loved being with those guys. It was great.
It was a fun time for sure.
Yes, it
really
was. Yes, it was. And of course, the person that brought us there was Jeff.
Yes.
Yes.
I love him. He's such a good guy.
He is a wonderful.
Really
he's
is.
a wonderful guy, and we talked about that last night too. But let's get back to you. And man, you've done so much stuff. I mean, you go all over the world, right? All over the world, all over the country, at least.
Yeah, it's sad because I mean it's the least important part of what's going on with the virus, but
yeah,
it's a bit disappointing because a lot of my trips that I was scheduled to take this year
have been shut down.
And
yeah,
and you know, I always tell people it's okay to be disappointed about things like that. It's not the end of the world, and as long as you know we get people healthy, then someday I'll get to go again. But yeah,
of course you will. Yeah, of course.
Twice this year, and I was supposed to go to the Navajo Nation.
Yes.
And some different things, but you know what? It's the woods are still there.
Yes.
I'm still working on my book, and like I said, as long as you get everybody I love gets out of this healthy, then none of that really matters.
Right. How do you feel about that? What's going on with the, well, not just the Navajo Nation, but the American Indian Nation? How do you feel what's going on? We don't get political about this stuff that's going on right now, but it's kind of pissing me off a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm part Cherokee.
Oh, okay.
And I really get pissed off about what's been going on. We don't need to talk about it. If you don't want to, that's fine.
No, it's okay. I understand, and I guess I don't. I should say I don't understand like you would understand, because that's your heritage, you know. Yeah. But I often get upset about things that are going on with them, and I don't know. I just don't like when I feel that things are unfair or people are taken advantage of and stuff. So, you know.
Yeah, well, that's been going on for years, right?
I know it has. I know it has. It's hard to know how to help, I guess.
You really can't. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Like this.
But it's hard. It's hard to stomach, yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, we don't do political stuff on this show, so
okay.
Never mind.
Right.
Okay.
I respect that.
Yeah. I think I asked you this last night, the scariest moment that you ever had on an investigation, but you were like, not really.
Well, I did remember something though. Like I was telling you, like when I first started doing this, I was scared at everything because I didn't like to be out in the dark or in the woods. Right. You know, it just wasn't my thing. But the whole topic has fascinated me so much. I've somehow overcome those fears. But yeah, the very first time I went and actually tried to look for Bigfoot, my daughter and I thought we were both having a heart attack because the possum ran down the street.
That was awesome. That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. But the scariest thing, I guess, was, I had the possible sighting that was in the daylight from a car. I had another possible sighting through a FLIR camera at night, but still, even though that was closer, you're not sure what it was. It was exciting, but I wasn't really scared.
Right.
But one time I was with some other Bigfoot researchers down in southern Ohio, and we had driven really far into a wilderness area that you had to get a pass to get into.
Yeah.
And we were there on the second night of our pass. We were there probably 2 a.m. or something like that. And we had gotten out of the truck that we came in. We had set up some folding chairs, just for a base camp.
Right.
And I remember I was bending over and I was tying my boot. And we were at the base of like an embankment at the top of which the forest.
Yeah.
The trees there. And
right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, we heard something coming swiftly toward us, and it was just going like wham, wham, wham through the branches.
Right.
And you could tell it was coming horizontally, not vertically down, and a big log was thrown in at us.
A big
and
log.
That was scary, because you could get hurt by that.
And, of course, yeah.
You're like, what else would be out there doing that? Even the person that had to give the pass wouldn't know exactly where we're going and what time and what day, and they wouldn't have been able to throw something that big, in my opinion.
Of course not.
So that was scary.
Now, how big would you say that log was? I mean, was it a log?
It was heavy. Like I couldn't lift it real well, and it was. Oh.
Was it firewood?
A couple feet and a couple, like maybe. It was more like a stump, like.
Okay, there was no root ball though, right? That wasn't that big.
No.
Okay.
No, it was just like a big piece of wood.
Big chunk of wood got
jagged,
at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a bit scary for sure.
And what did you guys do?
Well, I remember.
It just immediately open fire and just start blasting, or what? No, I'm kidding.
No. We all like did the thing where you bend down and cover the back of your neck like in a tornado drill.
Yeah.
And then once it hit, we all kind of jumped up and were scared and
jump back in your car. Jump back in your car and split, right?
Well, some people were, but I started running towards the embankment. A few of us started running the opposite way because I'm like, that's what we're here for.
Right.
And it's so funny because I'm not saying I'm brave. I'm saying I'm probably stupid.
No. You're absolutely right, man. It's like, why we're out here for this to happen. Where are you going?
Right. No, it was just so startling, though. And then we did try to go and find stuff, but we never did find anything. But we heard some strange sounds, and it was very fun, very exciting. I think you get, no matter what else you do with Bigfoot, that Project Zubok, we're scientifically trying to work together with different scientists across the country.
And that's so cool. So cool. That is very cool.
What our best chances would be maybe of finding evidence. But, mostly I feel like Bigfooting is fun.
It is.
It's an adrenaline rush when you're out there.
Absolutely.
So
yes, it is.
If it ever becomes not fun, I probably won't do it anymore.
Yeah. If it becomes a job, then... Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what we talked about last night, too, you mentioned the Bigfoot families, or did you? I don't know if you did. Maybe I'm hearing stuff in my head. We talked about the different species of Bigfoot, right? Do you believe that there is more than one, like every animal in the world, or is it just one that somehow has managed to go from Florida to the UK? No, I don't think so.
Right. No, the way I look at it is I think that if Bigfoot exists, it very possibly could be an undiscovered North American primate species. Mm-hmm. And, I have friends who think of it very differently. They look at it, some people think it could be an alien, some people think it's more paranormal. I look at it as a natural creature, but I also say that I don't know if I'm right. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, let's stop. Let me stop you right there. Now, I'm going to say, no, it's not an alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe it's an alien? I mean, come on.
I don't, but I don't pretend that I'm the only opinion out there.
Well, everyone has an opinion, right? But in my opinion, it's not an alien.
Yeah, I think that they're natural animals, and I think that, you have stories from out west, Oregon, California, Washington, where the creatures look different than the ones in Florida.
Absolutely. Like we talked about last night.
Yeah.
We talked about that last night. I mean, there's a wolf over here. There's a wolf on the West Coast. They look different.
They do.
Yeah. They do, yeah.
So that's what I think. But, I always say if it is an alien, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, Giorgio would love that. And I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he'd back that up in a heartbeat. Anyway, that's very cool. All right, man. I don't know. Is there anything going on right now that you would like to tell us about? I mean, we got 26. We're at like 26, 30 minutes. We got plenty of time. We got plenty of time. Yeah.
Well, I just got a report actually this past week from not too far from here. I get a lot of reports from Columbiana County, Ohio.
I wish I did.
There was a lady with her 2 kids that were getting kind of stir crazy from being quarantined,
and we all are. We all are. Yeah.
Yes. They went to a local park down there that it's not used too much. It's not. I like it there. I go there quite often, but it's not the most pretty place to go, I guess.
Right.
But they went there and they say they saw a Bigfoot that was down the hill from where they were and squatting by a tree, and it stood up without using its hands to push itself up and looked at them and walked away. So I would like to be able to get down there at some point, but my doctor has me staying inside right now.
I would love to have seen that video if she had one. I can't get up without using my hands.
Oh, I can't.
You know what I mean? Good Lord, man. I wish I could get up without using my hands. Anyway. That's great.
So that's new here. And then, I think I told you I was supposed to be out in Washington last week.
Yeah.
With 2 of the primate zoologists that I work with.
Yes.
We were supposed to go out there again. We had been out last year at the Olympic Project at their nesting sites that they found. And I know that they're still doing a lot of work there while they can.
Right.
If people don't know the history of the Olympic Project, in a nutshell, there was a logging company. The surveyor was looking to clear cut. They were looking to clear cut some land, and they had a surveyor out there.
That was way back in the day, right?
Well, it was several years ago, not too long ago.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Like 4 years, maybe.
Yeah.
And they found he found a bunch of what looked like ground nests.
Right.
And so they called in some people. Derek Randles is the head of the Olympic Project, and they've been working at that site ever since. And time is ticking, so they've been looking around areas close to that, and they still are doing a lot of work with putting audio out there, looking for new nest sites, and it's exciting what they're doing. It really is.
Right. Now, you're talking about the Olympic Project, and they have found nest sites.
Yes.
And
the logging company did, and then they went in and have been researching them, yes.
Can you tell us what those might look like?
Yeah, some of them are, I believe, up to like 8 feet in diameter.
Right. Not like a deer nest. Not when deer's hunkered down or... Yeah. Okay.
They brought in a bear specialist. They brought in a wood rat specialist.
Yeah.
Lots of people. And when I took my gorilla experts out there, they were very shocked because they said that's what it looks like. They can't prove it, but it looks like something primates would make.
That's a primate nest. I mean, that's where they hunker down.
Yes.
That is very cool. And that was where? That was
that's out of
the East Coast or West Coast?
Peninsula on the West Coast.
On the West Coast, yeah.
In Washington.
That's amazing,
and
yeah.
So it's pretty cool. There's still stuff going on out there, and so I'm out there as much as I can. Hopefully after, everybody this goes away, I'll get out there. I was able to get a voucher for my plane ticket, which was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing. And I want to talk to you more about that, but we're kind of getting short on time, man. Gosh darn it.
I'll come back sometime.
Well, that would be great. And I want to, like we did last night, you are a teacher, and that is your first and foremost love, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And those kids love to hear your stories.
They do. I've been teaching from home the last few days.
Yeah.
And even now, some of them are asking me about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
They're like, "Is Bigfoot going to be sick?" They're worried about Bigfoot.
Yeah. Well, Bigfoot. That's at least your worries right now. But anyway.
Right. But if they do like it, I tell them stories quite a bit, and they like that I'm out there looking and camping. And I work with inner city kids, so a lot of them have never been camping. So I'm hoping to kind of put that
is so damn cool. I didn't know that. You work with inner city kids. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
They're awesome. I love them.
Oh man, I wish we could get you with the Ames team sometime. With the kids.
That would be fun. I'd love it.
Man, that would be great. Oh wow, that would be so cool.
Yep.
Okay, we're running out of time again. We're gonna have you back, please. I'm sorry.
I would love to.
I'm gonna save it this time. This time, I'm gonna make sure it's saved. This is Amy View.
Yep.
And tell us where we can find all your information right now.
All right, well, you can find me on Facebook. My last name is spelled B as in boy, U-E.
Yes.
Or if you have anything you want to tell me about, especially if you're a scientist, but man, you don't have to be, I'm not a scientist, I'm a reading and English teacher.
Right.
But, it seems like through podcasts is where we usually get people interested, but also
Absolutely.
researchers are just people that have questions or if you've seen anything.
Like,
My
people
email
that
is
care. Yeah.
Amy@gmail.com.
There you go. All right.
Thank you.
Editor from Ohio, Amy View. Bigfoot expert. Would you say that?
I don't think there's any experts. I think we're all,
No,
just
right.
trying to do our best.
Yeah, we're just trying to find out what's going on, and it's very cool,
Yeah.
and we appreciate you coming on. And I'm sorry that things went bad last night.
I'm not. This was fun talking again.
Okay, well, we'll talk again. Okay. Anyway, guys, Amy View, co-founder, Project Zubuk, and we'll talk to you the next time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening. I am Sammy Terry, and you're listening to the Dead Zone.
Your source for everything paranormal, Para-X.
What makes bad kids bad? What makes them do the things they do? Booze, babes, and bad guys. Beautiful girls violated. Spiders creeping, creeps
This is Keith Age, and you're listening to The Dead Zone.
Devoured tribes in this wasted land. Pestilence delivered unto us by our own hand. Like temple movement that we pray, taking lives in demonic ways. In this society it is the norm, but you need a skilled art form. Chain together the walk of death, bloody steps to your last breath. Severed heads upon the spire, discarding bodies onto sacred fire. The moment of truth, there's no escape. Now it's time to meet your fate. The blade slices a sickening parasite, linked together by one trait that hell feel need to kill. Kill, 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 kill.
This is the Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show.
Thanks for listening.